Watched the film, weren't very happy with it. Got a long way to go. Not as good defensively as it looked like we were. Was not very good offensively, so we'll get back to work today. We'll watch film at 3 and then go from there. Still have some major injuries. It's really going to hamper us. Arthur's out. He'll see a doctor again on Wednesday, day of the game against Central Arkansas. Sam will be out till after Christmas, which is not good for us. And then Cullen is trying to come back, working out, but has a lot of pain, so we won't know with him till he tries to get back to practice, but I don't know when that'll be. And then Jordan's full go, so happy to have him back. He'll get a good practice in today and tomorrow, and then he'll be back in the rotation on Wednesday, and you'll probably see a lot of different lineups that you weren't used to. We'll play a lot of different lineups. We'll play a big lineup. We'll play a small lineup. So it'll be interesting. Got a lot to cover today at practice. Russ is going to bring his team in. I know they're going to play hard. They haven't had a lot of success this year, but it'll be a good test for us to get better and try to get better. So it's one of those things where we'll just try to get better as a group and try to cover some things and do some different things that we're not capable of doing or haven't done. We're capable of doing it, but we haven't done it. So it could be an interesting mixed match of people we play.
Your initial reaction on Saturday was that it was a sprained shoulder. Did anything change from the?
No, he's just got a sprained shoulder, degree 1 sprain. So it's 10 days, and so that puts us a little bit after Christmas, and it's all going to be on how he feels. No structural damage, but he's going to be out for a while.
I know he wasn't starting, but he was adding on defense some length. And can you talk about what he does?
Could have been really close to starting. Yeah, he's done really well.
And defense specifically, what was he bringing when he was coming off the bench?
I just think his energy. I think he's playing at a high level intensity-wise, and he's really improved. He's a guy that works on his game and cares about it. And, there's a reason why he's shooting the ball better, and it looks like he shoots the ball better because he puts time into it. But he's an athletic kid that plays really, really hard, and just sorry to see him get hurt. I don't know if he's ever been hurt in high school, so it's new to him. So it's one of those things that's going to be, his pain threshold is going to be the deal. Nate will get him back.
What do you expect out of Jordan?
I don't know. Hopefully he'll give us some scoring. I think he's figured out what it takes to guard and how we play team defense. So I think he's really excited. He had a great attitude on the bench. We've kind of brought him along, and he has no symptoms, and so it's one of those things where I think he'll be ready to go. I think he can score the ball. But he's got to get his feel back, but he knows how to play, and hopefully he'll provide some scoring for us.
Is it something that do you think it was just him not wanting to do it, or just finally just?
He's been hurt.
No, I knew that. But what you know what I'm saying, like as far as going all the way out on defense, has it been?
No, I just think it's hard to play at a high level, Van, when you're hurt, and I think when you play zone your entire junior college career, I don't think it's helpful for when you're trying to come into here and play team defense. And we're doing some different things. We played 2-3 zone the whole game. One game we switched a lot at the Valpo game. We played normal man-to-man against ULM, and then we switched a little bit. So we changed up some things. So it's different for him. So that's the hard thing for him. And then when you're hurt and you can't do everything 100%, that's the tough part. I mean, that's the hard part.
You've had a couple times where Jordan, it looked like he was coming back. Do you, at this point, again, kind of have to caution him to not try and do too much, don't make up for lost time?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we didn't say make up for lost time because we've been really, really taking our time on getting him back. So, I think he's full go. I think he feels better. I don't think he has any issues. I think he's playing at a higher level intensity-wise. It's just going to depend on how he gets back in the field. I'm sure he's going to be a little rusty. But, you're talking about a guy that's had 10 practices out of 40. I think this is 46 coming up. So, it's – and not to mention that he missed June, July, August. It's a lot.
You held your last 3 opponents under 50, but you said you were.
Yeah, I don't know if it was exactly, if you watch the film like I did 3 or 4 times, it's not exactly the defense. I think it was just a lot of bad shooting. But we're getting better defensively. We've done a good job defensively. I'll tell you one thing that does show up that we have never had and never talked about is our length. I mean, our guys change shots. I mean, Devin Williams made 3 really good blocks on help defense and then chasing a guy down. Our length is causing some problems. But we can get a lot better defensively, and we'll have to get a lot better defensively for conference season.
You had mentioned some finals fatigue on Saturday. How do you expect these few days here heading into Wednesday?
Well, we'll see. They had the day off yesterday, and then they don't have any classroom. They don't have any classroom, so we'll see how they've taken care of themselves and how they bounce back. But hopefully, their energy level will be up and they'll be ready to play because you got a big week. You got the game on Wednesday, then the game on Saturday, and then Tuesday. So 3 quick games.
Obviously, some health stability would be nice, but the next man up mentality that this team has shown, it's something you guys haven't had to deal with here for a few years.
I don't think we've ever had to deal with this injury-plagued season as we've had this year. The year that I think the only other bad injury that we've had was Alex when he set out the year with his back and had back surgery. But we had pretty good depth then. Cam was here, AJ was here, Drew Gordon was here. So we had pretty good depth there. I thought we were going to have pretty good depth in the backcourt, but now it's kind of dwindling. So, I even checked if I could have a manager practice today, which I can't. So I had to check the rules with compliance. I was going to put one of our managers into play today so that we'd have enough. Because one thing I did, just so, I don't want anybody to be at practice and freak out, I let Tim Williams and I let Elijah go home early. Their finals were done because it's really hard for kids that aren't playing. It's really hard for them to be here the whole time and keep up. And they've practiced really, really hard. They've done exactly what I've asked them to do, so I let them go home. So we don't have those 2 guys here for practice. And then with Sam being out, we're kind of down numbers. And I don't think that I want to see a lineup of Jordan, Joe, and JJ on the silver team today. So I'm into using different lineups, but I don't think I want to see that one.
Coach, on 3-point shooting against 2 of the teams we played in the last 4 games, we took 9 shots. The other 2 we shot like over 20. Are they still, if they're open, do you tell them to shoot or?
Yeah, and I think the only reason why we shot 20 in that last game is because they played zone. And when guys think they're open, they think they have the right to shoot. But there will be some discussion today at film.
Your last couple press conferences, it seems like you always seem to mention that you're really pleased with Devin.
Yeah, I am.
What is it that you're pleased with?
Well, I just think he's one of those kids in this day. And one thing that is kind of unique is we've had Cam Bairstow never said a word for 3 years. Never said a word. Played as a freshman. I think it was like 1 point a game. Sophomore year, he does okay. Junior year, he averages 9 points a game. Doesn't really start till I think it was, you have to correct me if I'm right, after Christmas. Or we were starting Demetrius Walker at the 4 at that time. Never said boo. Never said a word. Just did what he was supposed to do, bought his time instead of, I got to play as a freshman. I got to play. He just did what he's supposed to do. And look what happened. And that's what I've tried to tell guys, and I think Devin's one of those kids. I think one thing that helps coaches and programs is for a kid like him to buy his time, keep his mouth shut, do what we ask him to do, go to class, work his butt off, develop, and then you look to see what happens. Now, he didn't play great the other night. I mean, he didn't make a shot, but he played hard and influenced the game. He had 3 blocks, plays hard, runs the plays, doesn't screw up mentally, and he does what I ask him to do. And I'm really happy for a kid like that. And he deserves it. So, he's been very consistent. I mean, he would have been very consistent if he made 4 or 5 of those shots and did some things. He would have had a normal game, but that happens. But he has great effort.
What's your next opponent, winless, what kind of challenge do you think they'll bring? I mean, are they one of those teams that's been struggling?
They're struggling just because it's a new group, junior college kids, new coaching staff, that's not always easy. Our biggest thing is, like I've told you from day one, we're just trying to get better each game. Doesn't matter who the opponent is. And I think we've done that to a certain extent. We just got to continue to do that and keep striving to work on some things and get back in the flow. And, you know, I think Hughes battling himself with, am I the point guard? Am I the shooting guard? Or, you know, that's hard. With injuries, that's hard. So, you know, he's trying to figure it out, and I think he's doing a nice job with that.
You know, going against the zone, you guys have had success driving it.
Right.
So when you talk to these guys about offense against the zone, is it better passing, getting into the post?
Well, that's a great point, JJ. I think the biggest thing is when we're turning the corner on ball screen and zone, we're not getting in the paint. We're not driving and making two guys play us. The biggest thing in the zone is you got to make two guys play one. And we're not doing that. We're kind of going around the perimeter, around the three-point line. When we catch it in the high post, we're not looking to make a play. We're not looking opposite. So there's some things we got to work on, but, you know, that's the first time somebody's played us extended time in zone, and then it's not easy when you miss shot after shot after shot for guys to really look to continue to make a shot. So we have to get better. We got to get better penetration in the zone. We got to take better shots, but we had some good shots. We just didn't make them.
Coach, I'm one of these guys that sit in the euchre seats.
Yep.
Section P, row 2.
Way up.
Way up there.
Yep.
And a lot of the guys around me are retirees, and a lot of them are just working stiffs, just trying to make a living.
Mm-hmm.
And the question, you did answer this question last week, that you would reconsider UTEP, and there was a big editorial today in Albuquerque Journal editorial page why it would be a tragedy we didn't have UTEP. And a lot of these fans, we've been following the Lobos since 1960. It was a great team to play against.
Mm-hmm.
Would you maybe make it a higher priority to get them on the schedule next time?
I'm not going to make them a higher priority. I'll listen, but I'm not going to make them a higher priority. Did that answer your question?
You mentioned Cullen and playing through the pain, trying to get through it. Is there a timeline, obviously?
Well, the only thing is it's, and I said January 5th, and I told Jeff this, is because what people don't understand, he can only go to 15 games. We've got a 30-game schedule. He has got to make a decision before we leave for San Diego State. Now, that's our 15th game, but if he goes into play in the Utah State game, he's in for the year. It's not like he can play 2 more games and then say, it's bothering me. He's either got to shut it down now because we have to do a lot of documentation. It's all doctor work, and you know that's why January 5th is the important date. Now he's still doing some things. He's up there working out right now. My biggest thing is his mobility is not very good, and his lateral movement's not very good. So that plays a key because it's key with him just to have his feet and his ankles and his legs have to be good for the way he plays. So we'll see what happens. But he's trying to come back, and they've done a good job with him. It's just a tough injury.
You know, you're in a unique situation, you know, coaching your son.
Mm-hmm.
Point where you're gonna, because he's probably gonna want to please you for sure. And then you have to. Is there a situation probably where you're gonna have to finally say like, "Hey, man, look."
I've let my coaching staff do a lot of it. I've let them, talk to him. I've talked to him, but it's hard. It's a situation where he wants to come back for his teammates. He wants to come back for Hugh and Dede because it's their senior year. But at the end of the day, I've talked to my staff and I've talked to a lot of people. I've reached out to a lot of coaches. It's what's best for him. I mean, you're talking about a kid that's going to miss 15 games again. And if he comes back and play, that's a lot of games in your college career. And to play 2 years in a row hurt is not easy, or coming back. It has nothing to do with me wanting to redshirt anybody. I'm just trying to do what's best for him. And I'd do it for Arthur. It's just Arthur's situation is not conducive to redshirt because he would lose. He would lose a year because he's not incapacitated for 2 years and his clock's already started. So, it's just tough that way. And you want to do what's best for all your kids. You want to do what's best for all your players. It's a unique relationship because I'm dad and I'm coach. So my staff's done an unbelievable job dealing with him and trying to figure out where his mind is. And Nate's as good a trainer as there is in the country. But my biggest concern is his pain. And if he continues to have pain, then we're going to have to really start talking about that.
You said Edward was going to the doctor on Wednesday before the game.
Yeah, his thing is he's got to have another x-ray. He has another x-ray to make sure that fracture right at his knuckle is healed completely. And then it'll become a movement thing. So I I would think he can start doing some movement with the ball and doing some things. If his X-ray comes back clean, I can see him playing, the first conference game, because I think he's done an unbelievable job. He's done an unbelievable job being a good teammate. He's done an unbelievable job helping the younger guys, and he's been really, really good on staying in shape. He's really worked hard.
Getting back to kind of the comment Jeff made, the next man up kind of mentality, from a coaching standpoint, who is the next man up that you're looking to at this point?
Well, I hope Jordan comes back and gives us something. I mean, I think he gave us something in the George Mason game. He gave us some scoring. And then the Texas A&M game was just a different level of play, different level of intensity that he wasn't ready for because he hadn't been playing. He hadn't had a lot of practices. But, hopefully he'll do some things. I thought JJ did some nice things the other night. It doesn't show up, but I thought he tried to go rebound the ball. He had 2 bad screens that he's got to work on, and we got to wait so that he doesn't get bad screens. But, those guys if they can give us some valuable minutes, that's really going to help. And then, Tim's played solid, and then X played a little bit better in the second half. So those guys are going to have to continue to play off. X is starting right now, but, Tim's got to still consider, playing really, really consistent off the bench for us. And if he continues to do that, that helps. Nada. Appreciate it, y'all.